Hey there, what's going on? It's Jerome here coming at you with a message. And it feels like it's still kind of evening. I know it's really early in the morning right now. It's almost 5 o'clock. But something just told me, go ahead, Jerome, just make this video. Put out this information because somebody needs to hear this. Even if it's just one person who might be going through this or growing through this, just, put out the information and just let it be what it is. So, it occurred to me to talk about what we're going to call spiritual parasites, or even what some might know as succubus energy. And this is something that I'm just learning about. I don't know all there is to know about these entities and this energy, but if you've ever felt like, you were somehow afflicted, somehow constricted with something on you, some energy on you that's coming from somewhere or something, I just want to let you know you're not crazy. You're not crazy. So, I myself am a very sexual being, It's no mystery. I've talked about this before, not just being a Scorpio myself, but actually having a lot of sexual energy in me, flowing within me. And I've dealt with lust. I've dealt with so many things during my life. I've dealt with the misuse of that sexual energy, the depletion of my secretions, and also just the watching of pornography and just the destruction of that sort of production, and also it used to distort the way that I would even look at females. Then after a long recovery phase, I went through a long period where, I haven't looked at pornography. I haven't looked at material like that. And I haven't, gazed upon things that were entering my astral realm, tearing me down, and actually having that depletion still within dreams. So I would be depleted within my dreams. I would have dream ejaculations. I would have sensations within my dream world where I was still entering into that realm of sexuality in ways that just didn't pay off, and it was very seductive. So, lately, when that started to come up again, I started to be like, wait, why is this coming up right now? I've been on a large streak, right? A large streak of not having this happen. I've been transmuting the sexual energy and using it like this. I've been actually putting out so much content and so much material with that material, using my seed in a energetic way to transmute that energy and produce content. So impregnating a business, or impregnating ideas, or impregnating, my dreams, my visions and ambitions. So during my dream, when I'm encountering things, and these are kind of very, very strange occurrences. It's not like your everyday fantasies. Although they say that succubus can enter your dreams and they can encompass your fantasy. They can morph, they can transform into something that you most likely will be inclined to entertain, right? And then as soon as you ejaculate, you have that wet dream, that's when they come to claim, right? They claim that energy because you haven't sustained that energy or maintained that energy. As you gain that energy, a succubus might latch on and come to claim that energy. So I started to realize that, there were nights that I might have been drinking juice late at night. And so it might have led to me feeling that built up pressure in my lower region. and having a dream, and then leading to a wet dream, right? Where we say in semen retention circles, they say that's not a relapse, but it still is a loss of your energy. You know, your body has to draw and pull from all sorts of organs and stuff in the body because it thinks it's creating another human, right? It thinks it's creating another you, basically. So it's drawing from all sorts, and you still feel that loss, you know, there's still a cost. So it's you don't feel like the boss of your own mind. You don't feel like that in that time. So I was seeing the loss of that energy when I would get up in the rising, and it would be very surprising because I'd be like, where is this coming from? You know, I know that I'm on the right path. I know that I'm on the right track. How is this energy creeping in and seeping in? So then I started to say, okay, I'm on a mission now. Detective Jerome, you know, is on the case. I'm about to find this, you know, and face this, right? And figure out how to erase this, because this is not productive. This is not constructive. And so I decided to drink earlier in the day and be dry for the rest of the day. And guess what? It worked. So I would cut it off at 7 o'clock, and then my dreams were more vivid. Then I would push it back to like 6 o'clock. My dreams were even more vivid. And, you know, when I kept pushing it back and pushing back my drinking consumption, I would have more vivid dreams at night. And I would be able to catch it. I'd be able to catch when my dreams were going from, you know, beautiful dreams, wonderful dreams, to all of a sudden twisted, you know? These twisted dreams persisted. So one night, the tail end of my dreams, I found myself in this area, this room, or this, either a hotel or a brothel or somewhere. I don't know where it was, but there were just all of these naked beings, right? They were all naked, but it was like twisted. It was like distorted. They were all naked, but they were all like slimy and grimy, and there was like kind of like filth on them. It was almost like in high definition. It was very vivid. It was very lucid. I couldn't control the dream, but I could feel it was very just creepy energy. It was like, why am I in here right now? I don't need to be in here right now. And it was just all these bodies, and they were all gazing at me. They were watching me. And, you know, as I was walking amongst them, I just felt like I'm not in the right place here. And I woke up from that dream, and I knew immediately that I had caught myself before I had done something with one of these beings in that room that would have led to an ejaculation, you know, a wet dream. So I was like, yes, I caught it. And then I thought to myself, okay, what is going on? You know, I know that there may still be remnants of things in my subconscious, but this didn't feel like it came from my subconscious. This felt like it came from something else, like somewhere else. Like this was an energy. This felt like an entity, you know, that had entered my astral realm. So the next night I did the same thing, and I didn't drink hardly during the day. I just kind of let it taper away, and I cut it off, and I said, okay, I'm gonna catch this thing. We gonna get this. We gonna find out, right? Sure enough. And I sleep outside. I sleep in a tent. So I sleep next to this big old tree named Artemis. And I talk to the tree, and we have conversations. We meditate together. You know, the other day we were meditating in a thunderstorm. It was raining, high energy in the air. And he taught me how to breathe and be calm and be patient. So I only tell you that to tell you this. When I finally had my last dream, sure enough, there were these two beings. And at first they looked like humans. You know, they were regular humans. And they were just grinding on each other in front of this large crowd. One of them was a guy. The other one was like a girl, but they seemed like humans. but they were just kind of grinding on each other. And he was on a microphone, talking on the microphone to the crowd of people as he was grinding on this girl. And then I noticed that they were both naked, so they were literally having sex, like in a concert. It was like a big old concert. They were having sex on stage, and they were just grinding each other vigorously. And they both had female and male body parts. So I'll say that one more time. So they both had male and female body parts, but they were having vigorous intercourse on stage. And when I saw this, I said, no. No. Something within me rejected the sight, and it was like, boom, I woke up, right? And it was night. And I knew in that moment that was leading me somewhere that I wasn't trying to go down. And as soon as I woke up, I felt something around. I felt something somewhere in my area, And sure enough, I heard it. And someone watching this might be like, yo, Jerome, you're crazy. You're going crazy. I heard it. It was like a humming sound. It's so creepy. This was like a humming noise. It was a humming sound that was right around me. And it was... like very faint. Very faint. You almost wouldn't even hear it. But I heard it. I heard it right next to my tent. And then I heard it right next to my tent over there. I heard it over here. 2 different spaces, not at the same time, at different points. And I knew that this energy, this succubus, or whatever this spirit, this deity or this entity was right around me. Like it had found me. And I heard the birds chirping in the distance, right? I heard the birds, I heard the crickets or the birds, or I heard animals and critters and creatures. This was not an animal, critter, or creature. This was an entity. And I heard it humming. Right? And I got chills. Like I'm almost getting goosebumps right now. Like I got chills. I was like, what? What the heck is, but I didn't say it out loud, but I was just thinking that, like, what is this? And how did this latch onto me? How did this, catch on to me, right? So I asked Artemis, which is the tall tree that's I sleep next to outside. Artemis, what do I do? Tell me what to do. Like, are you familiar with succubus energy? Do you know about this energy? How do I get this entity away from me? And he told me to put my hands together, in the prayer position, and to almost say an affirmation or an incantation. Just speak words like, he said, basically repeat after me. And so he told me to say, like, you are no longer needed in this vessel. Thank you. Thank you for your intention, but you're no longer needed. Like, I release you. Basically saying, I release you. I release you from this vessel. You're no longer needed. Go elsewhere. So I'm paraphrasing, but he basically told me word for word the instructions to say so that this entity would be on its way. And I said it, and I didn't hear the humming again. No more humming, no more dream, and yeah, it was gone. So just briefly, I just want to touch on this because, sometimes things might happen that we really don't understand. And, there might be energies that have latched onto us from somewhere or sometime. And it's almost like a spiritual sort of hygiene to purify and cleanse your energy. We have so many bodies. We got our physical body, our emotional body, our mental body, but then you also got your etheric body, your energy body, your astral body, your spiritual body. And people talk about the Buddhic body and, all these different bodies. But there's a spiritual hygiene when it comes to being clean in that way. You can take a shower, you can scrub your physical body, but what about your emotional body, your mental body, and your spiritual body? So this was one of the ways that I feel was able to reveal, the things that had been concealed to me in my mind that you might even come to find. If you find yourself in a dream world and things are happening that are very strange, and it leads to an ejaculation, that could be that entity, coming to claim that energy. The more that you gain that energy, you attract beings that want to claim that energy. And if you still have lustful energy signatures, they might be attracted. So just realize this and, know that there are measures that you can take. And don't worry if people think that you're going crazy, or if people think that it's fake. Don't worry, it's not a mistake. You understand that within you there's a lot of power, so there are certain things that may want to devour that power, or even are just misunderstood. From what I understand, some of these succubus beings, these spiritual parasites that come and latch onto you and catch onto you, they don't really understand that this is not good for you. They're just kind of under their own directive. They're accomplishing their own objective, that when you've released, that energy has increased, and then you release, and then they come and they grab it. They come, now they have it, right? So just understanding that, it's almost like to them it might be kind of like a game. They come and they claim what you haven't maintained. But there's no guilt and there's no shame. But you can send them to whence they came, right? You can send them away, and they don't have to have hold over you. They don't have to have control over you. So much love, my friend, and I trust that you received something from this, and we'll see you again. Much love.